I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Yes, and I'm loving that applause. I hope you're clapping right along with that truth. Your soul is welcome here. Mm-hmm. And you are welcome today, this morning, and we are so grateful you have decided to join us at Unity Church of Overland Park. I am Reverend Jacquie Fernandez, and I'm joined on screen by Reverend Carrie King. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Jacquie. How are you this morning?
I am feeling good. It is a crisp fall morning, which lets me know that winter is just around the corner. My favorite season. And also, we are joined on screen by Terry Sturgeon, providing Asl Interpretation today. Good morning, Terry. So good to see you and be with you. And we have, of course, all of our staff working behind the scenes. Kelly Corbett, our YFM coordinator, is getting ready to do the Zoom calls with the kids after church. Actually, no, she's on vacation today. Clarissa Walken she is ready behind the scenes today to do our Zen Masters, all them cats. Lesson with the UCOP kids. And then we have Patrick Andrews, we have Tim Crabtree ready to do the YOU and Unitine book study. We've got Mike Hobson and Fred Albers, our music director, of course, working behind the scene, providing this technology so that we can live stream our services during the COVID pandemic. And Deb Philby, of course, is moderating our social media comments. So if you are on Facebook or YouTube, you can say good morning to Deb and thank her for being here. Anyone else, Carrie?
No, I think you've covered everyone.
There are two more people.
Oh, Terry Bow.
Tiffany Crabtree will be here for the announcements, and Terry Baugh. So we've got Terry, and Carrie this morning. Right now, I kind of wish my name was Jerry, just so we can have that. It's okay. I'll hang out with Tiffany with the unrhyming names. But we have Terry Ball who will be reading the Daily Word today. So that will be coming right up. And if you are interested in joining the Daily Word team, right, Carrie? Aren't you gathering people to be our Daily Word readers?
Yes. Please just email me at kking@ucop.org, and I will be happy to put you on the list. We'd be delighted to have you. Or if you need more information, you can go to the website and just leave a note someplace on the website. We'll get it, and we will be happy, very happy to take you in as a daily reader.
Absolutely. We are so grateful for all of our ministry teams and volunteers who do so much to keep our church in spiritual business, even as our services are virtual during this pandemic. So if you are new to Unity, if you are visiting us, we welcome you. If you are streaming, we know that people are streaming from all over the metro area, but we also know we are getting people in from Florida and California and Washington State and other many places. So thank you for joining us. If you are watching us in the future, we call you forth right now into our circle of love this morning. We see you and we are grateful you are here. And in Unity, we honor all paths to God, all paths to truth, not paths that work to diminish the light or to distort the truth, but all paths that have that mystical heart at the core of their teachings. We affirm and know and preach and teach that all people are born in original blessing, and we honor and affirm all people regardless of creed, regardless of political beliefs, regardless of color or ability, sexual orientation, or gender expression. We affirm your wholeness. We see you and we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you. And we come together every week to remember who and whose we are, and to honor the Christ-like present in each of us. And so you'll see the candle lit to my left. That is meant to represent the Christ light that is always shining in, through, and as you. So let's speak one of our foundational affirmations together right now. And I invite you right where you are to say these words with enthusiasm and with a holy authority out loud. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the source of all good.
Amen. Oh, and we also have a vision. Unity worldwide has a vision. Unity within our country has a vision, and we encompass that same vision as Unity Church of Overland Park. So I encourage you to, with the same enthusiasm, say with me this important vision for the world. A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
Thank you, Carrie. Yes, I feel it. And I feel the power in those words, and the power when we speak those words together. For we know that in truth, there is no distance between us. The heart knows no truth. So even though we are gathered from our own physical locations today, we are united in heart and soul. We are also united in our vision for our future space. We are united in our gratitude for the work and dedication of the Future Space team. And so we know that right now, we are being challenged in new ways, unprecedented ways, to fulfill our mission and vision statements. And we are doing that in new ways week by week. And we are also holding a future vision for a right and perfect spiritual home. So let's say our affirmation together. We are grateful for our new spiritual home that empowers us to fulfill our mission.
And now Terry Bow is going to come forward to say the daily word, to read the daily word. And you know, Terry usually does our hospitality for us. However, we haven't been able to do that lately. So she's decided she's going to share a little bit of spiritual hospitality.
Thank you, Carrie. Yes, as part of the hospitality team, we still do pick up the high V order every Sunday, and I just ran and picked everything up, so my car is bulging for the delivery tomorrow to the Shawnee Civic Center. So it's always my joy to do that. But I just want to tell you, I'm very honored to be asked to read the Daily Word, because the Daily Word has been a part of my life for 43 years. Back in 1977, when I got divorced, my aunt gave it to me, and I have never missed reading a day of the Daily Word. It travels with me. It goes everywhere I go. So I'm honored to do this. Today's theme is steadfast. I am a steadfast spiritual seeker. No matter where I may be on my path, Sometimes my spiritual life feels easy and sometimes it feels hard. There are times I enjoy new insights, blissful clarity, and peace. Other times I may struggle, feeling stuck and directionless or even lonely on my walk with God. At times like these, I renew my commitment to my spiritual path. Although my intention may have wandered, the divine presence within me has always remained steadfast, as near as my next thought. Wherever I am in space, time, or consciousness, I discover the love, strength, and wisdom of God expressing through me. And our Bible verse is, if I take the wings of the morning and settle at the farthest limits of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me fast. And that's from Psalms 139, 9-10. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Amen.
So let's take those thoughts, those words into prayer. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Breathing in truth in this time of so much chatter, just so much chatter in the world. Sometimes it's difficult to believe what is real and what is not in this real world, this world that we live in. However, in our spiritual world, we know what is real. And we know that if we stay steadfast in this spiritual knowing, that which serves the highest and good will always come forward. It cannot fail. So in this time of challenge to stay steadfast, we choose to take up that challenge. We take that up. And we choose to be steadfast in how we project ourselves and how we live ourselves in this special time of opportunity for growth, of opportunity for our country, of opportunity of every single person to step into a higher way of being. Breathing in and breathing out, we release all doubt and fear. We allow ourselves to embrace the uncertainty of these times. Embrace it as the melting of something that can be made into something greater and bigger, more empowering, more uplifting. Each one of us, as we join together as one in God, moving forward in a beautiful, loving, kind, uplifting way. We are so blessed to have this opportunity to come together today in this way, to remind ourselves that we are one, to be one, to always breathe in truth and breathe out love. And from that space, we know that there is a mysticism in all of that, it is mystic. And so as we go forward today, we hear these words from Jacquie, we hear the music, and we allow ourselves to be carried, for this is not a process of force, this is a process of allowing. And so we say, thank you, God, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you for that beautiful prayer, Reverend Carrie. Thank you, God, and thank you, Reverend Carrie. Wow. So yes, The Mindful Mystic is the title of my talk today. And, I can tell because as I've been preparing for this particular talk over the last couple of weeks, I have been, of course, walking a more mindful path. And I feel the fruit of that. And even just while you were praying, Carrie, I actually heard Fred Albers, our music director, playing the piano in the background. Of course, he was not, but I could just feel that integration of our spiritual community and of prayer and heavenly music, I would say, in that. And that hasn't happened to me before. So we are in for a treat today. You are in for a treat as you begin a path of mindful mysticism. And if you have already been walking that path, perhaps you'll gain an insight today that will allow you to take that even deeper. Right now in our service is a time when we give thanks. We give thanks by demonstrating our prosperity and abundance teachings. We give thanks by giving freely our time, our talent, our treasure to our spiritual community from which we are nourished. And this is the time when we bless those tithes and offerings, knowing that even as we infuse our giving with our own life energy, that infusion moves out into the world through our community tithing, our practice of being a tithing community, and of the work of our ministry. So right now, I want to affirm that our giving is powerful, it is generous, it is wise, and it is for the fulfillment of our vision and mission statements. And so let's say our love offering blessing together, again, enthusiastically. And I invite you to speak these words out loud because there's a reverberation that happens, a reverberation of power, of your own inner authority that happens when you speak these words. So together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am joy-filled and grateful. See, you can't whisper those words. You can't just kind of, I am joy-filled and grateful. And even if you aren't feeling particularly joy-filled today, if you claim it, you begin to forge a path toward that way of being. Do you see? So we claim that today. Now, if you are looking for a way to contribute, you can do so online through our website and just click on the Make a Donation button. Or if you are already registered with Tithely, you can also set up recurring giving. So it's automatically timed to whatever fits your schedule. And of course, you can write a check and mail it in to our address, which, Mike, can you put that on the screen? 535 North Merlin Road, Suite A, Olathe, Kansas, 66062. There we go. So you can go to ucop.org and donate online and also learn more about Tithely there, or you can write a check and mail it in. So if you need to come back to this video later, you'll know right where it is on the screen. All right, it is time to introduce our amazing musician who I think I left out of the opening welcome as someone who will be with us, but Harold Payne, if you have not experienced him yet, you are in for such a treat. He is a dear soul, very well known in the music industry, above and beyond New Thought music, but also, of course, he is a treasure in the New Thought world, and not just because his gift of music, but he is a dear soul. And I know this has been a tender week for him, as last weekend, his dear sweet mother made her transition quietly in her sleep. So I know his heart has been wide open this week as he's been preparing this music for us. We will first hear Love Wins, which, of note, little trivia for you, was a song performed by Terry Swope, our own Terry Swope, on my tryout weekend with you. And so when I tried out, that was the song that was the title of the talk. So this feels great. It is Harold's song, his original song. So he will sing that first. But then here's what you got to know. When Harold comes to church, he listens to the sermon, to the talk, and he writes a song while the minister is speaking, and then he gets up and sings afterwards. So he called me this week to talk through a little bit more about what my talk would be, and he wrote us a song. So after the talk and meditation, then we will get to hear that song. But right now, without further ado, Harold Payne, Love Wins.
You turn the news on, you get your blues on from all the negativity. It's hard to wrap yourself around what's going down on TV. You can stress it, second guess it. You can think about it way too hard. Or you can move the conversation from your head to your heart. Sometimes it's a matter of just letting go, holding on to the one thing we know. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson we're learning again and again. Love wins. We all matter. It doesn't matter if we're on one side or the other. As long as we find a way to get along with one another. We can agree to disagree, or maybe even realize that we see another point of view when we look through someone else's eyes. Sometimes it's as easy as just letting go, holding on to the one thing we know. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson we're learning again and again. Love wins. Whenever you give it a chance, it is the one hope that everyone has to build a better world for us all. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson we're learning again and again. Love wins. That's where it all begins. Love wins. We learn it again and again. Love wins. That's where it all begins. Love wins. Oh, 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 oh. Love wins.
Indeed, it does. Love wins. Thank you, Harold Payne, for that beautiful song. I love how it presences from the beginning. You know, we turn the news on, we get our blues on, right? All the negativity. So we have, as mindful mystics, opportunities all around us to let go of negativity. And as the lyrics of the song indicate, move the conversation from our head to our heart. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. The process of being a mindful mystic involves the mind, and it involves the heart, and it involves the relationship between the two. So first, I'll be talking about the mind, then I'll be talking about the heart, and then I'll be talking about heart intelligence or heart coherence, which you may be familiar with as some work by Joe Dispenza, who's very well known in our New Thought circles for this work. We're not going to get too much into the quantum field, the quantum physics about this, but we do want to talk about it as it impacts our spiritual path. Of course, all of this is based on our book, which we are in week 5, Embracing Uncertainty. I have 2 books here today. That's why I'm struggling. So this is our Fall Faith book, Embracing Uncertainty. I also have with me 7,000 Ways to Listen by Mark Nepo, a mystic of our time, right? A modern day mystic. From the 2 chapters in our Fall Faith book series, we will be talking today about what it means to be a mindful mystic, right? To enjoy the feast, as Susan Jeffers, the author, describes it. And she gives us the line, if it isn't about love, it isn't about God. If it isn't about love, it isn't about God, as a guiding principle. And I really latched onto that. You know, last week in our chapters from the reading, you may remember she quoted Carlos Castaneda and his teaching about if we are faced with 2 paths, we ask the question, which path has heart? Both paths lead to nowhere, right? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But which path has a heart? That is the path that will be life-giving. And so when we think about these ideas about love, about our mind power, about our heart power, and about our spiritual path, there comes probably quickly to mind mindfulness, right? The practice of mindfulness. which is a Buddhist practice of being aware, bringing your awareness to what is present. And it's a way to bring us present to the here and now, because so often, especially when we turn on the news, or if we have, an experience with another person who might be negative in their thinking and comments, we have a way of latching onto that, right? Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And so we then continue to think more negative thoughts. And so we might get sort of obsessed or focused on the past, maybe something that has harmed us in the past, someone who has harmed us in the past, or a negative experience that maybe we have a lot of regret around, and we replay that in our mind over and over. So it becomes part of what? Our present, right? It's no longer in the past, it is in our present. And we're really good at doing that, even for years, right? You think an elephant never forgets? There are some people who never forget, right? I'm sure we can all think of something from our childhood, something that was said to us that we can hear clear as day right now in this moment. Okay, so that's something that person said a long time ago. For some of us, a very long time ago, right? If it is impacting us right now, today, in the present, who's the one saying it? Our mind, right? We are the ones saying it and perpetuating it. Okay, so the practice of mindfulness, if we don't get caught or sort of obsessed about the past, sometimes we get overly obsessed about the future. This is my own personal pattern, okay, is that I start thinking about the future and what can go right, what can go wrong, what the future might look like. Does that keep me in the present? No, it pulls me out of the present. And I might use that power of imagination about future living to be stressful, to be worried, right? So we talk about our power, one of the 12 powers, imagination, is misused when we use it for worry and for stressful thoughts. Or I can imagine it, the future, to be bright, shining, beautiful, prosperous, abundant, all the good things, joy-filled, healthy, happy. So our practice is to bring our attention and our thoughts to the present moment, because we can't change the past and we can't control the future, right? We talk about setting intentions. Yes, we want to do that as part of our practice, but oftentimes our present experience is impacted and informed by what we were thinking about in the past or what we are thinking about in the future. Things that have already happened and are done and over with, or things that have yet to happen and will happen in any number of ways, right? Infinite possibilities of what the future holds. So there's another word that we talk about a lot, and that's awareness. And you might think there's a relationship between mindfulness and awareness, and there is. Mindfulness is the practice that gets us to awareness. Mindfulness is the practice that gets us to awareness. Deepak Chopra, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, he says it this way. He says that awareness of a thought is not a thought. Awareness of a thought is not a thought. So mindfulness puts our mind, engages our mind into what is present now. What are we experiencing? What smells are we smelling? What sounds are we hearing? What sights are we seeing? What emotions are we feeling? What information is coming in to us from the outer world? Mindfulness. Also, mindfulness is what's happening in the internal world. What are our thoughts? What are our feelings? Even our physical being. How is it working? What are our thoughts about how our bodies are working? Okay, so we have the external experience and the internal experience. Mindfulness brings us to awareness. And awareness is greater. It's beyond the mind. Awareness might not engage the mind at all. It might be more of a heart-soul experience, a God experience, a mystic experience. So mystical experience or mysticism is the experience of God, an experience of the divine. Any experience of the divine is a mystical experience. So you might think, well, I'm not even over here trying to be a mystic, or, maybe you just don't think that's possible for you. You have some idea in your mind that only an enlightened, elevated person, spiritually elevated person could be considered a mystic. But that's not true. That's simply not true. Anybody can have a mystical experience. Anyone can be a mystic. Anyone can practice mysticism. And I hope that you do. I hope that you do. Now, if it's not your flavor of spirituality, if it's not a practice that's for you, then there are lots of other practices that are there for you. And so don't feel like, well, Reverend Jacquie said I should be a mystic, therefore I should be a mystic, but I'm not with it. That's okay. That's okay. But I hope you give it a try. I hope you taste it. I hope you taste it, because that taste is beyond the physical taste. It is a taste of the heart. It is a taste of the spirit, a taste of the divine in your life. And probably you've had some level of mystical experience that has compelled you to embark on a spiritual journey. Probably. I'm willing to guess that. And you might think, well, yeah, that was one thing that happened 20 years ago, but really nothing's happened ever since. Right? Well, let me tell you, there's a gap between the Old Testament and the New Testament in the Bible. There's a gap of about 400 years. Okay. And it's not that nothing was happening. We just don't know what was happening if we only rely on the source of scriptures, right? There are plenty of other sources that can tell us what was happening during that period of time, much like our own lives. So we might think, based on any number of expectations of what it means to have a mystical experience, that we haven't had one in a very long time. Or it might just be that our awareness has not been there, that our mindfulness has not been there to witness and observe and acknowledge it. But you can put on your God-colored glasses and re-examine your life. And I bet you will find plenty of experiences of the divine. I guarantee it, right? I really, truly guarantee it. Deep breath. So typically in our Sunday services, I give the talk and then it's followed by meditation. I'm actually going to weave our meditation in through each section of my talk: mind, heart, and heart intelligence. Okay. So there'll be shorter meditations, but with a purpose of leading us into an experience of mindfulness. And then beyond that, into an experience of awareness. Okay. Sound good? So what I didn't say earlier that I was going to try to say is to have something, some object ready for this. And that's okay though, because you can use your hands, your arm, your elbow, or you can use a book that's nearby, or even like a coaster or your coffee mug or whatever you might have near. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a spiritually, a provocative object. It doesn't have to be anything in particular, just an object. For example, how mundane it could be. I have a protein bar. Now, truth be told, it's not just any protein bar. This protein bar is peanut butter and dark chocolate, which I believe is a flavor combination of the divine. Okay, you heard it here. That is God's favorite flavor combination in my mind. Peanut butter and dark chocolate. This is Nature Valley. And so right now, as a practice of mindfulness, I'm just going to observe it. Right? I'm just going to be present to this bar. I'm not going to think about the box that I pulled it out of, the Costco box. I'm not going to think about how many are left in that box and should I make a trip to Costco pretty soon, because I get really sad when I'm out of my protein bars. I'm not going to think about, other people might have other types of protein bars and maybe they're judging me now for this kind of protein bar. Maybe they don't really like peanut butter and chocolate. Maybe they have a peanut allergy. You see, the mind just starts going off, right? Our mind is really good at word association and thought association, that one little thought can sort of squirrel off into a different direction. So I'm going to bring my attention back to this protein bar right here, right now. There is no one else in this room with me. You are virtually with me, but you're not here in this room to whisper anything into my ear. You might be typing into the comments and I wouldn't know that right now. Oh, I see on the back are all the nutrition information, which, half of it means something to me. The other, most of it probably, I don't really understand. And I'm not really sure what those color bars mean. So I'm just looking at it and I can hear it, and you can probably hear it crunching. So I'm being mindful that I don't compete the sound with my voice. Okay, so are you following me in my experience of mindfulness? So I'm asking you to have something. It might be your own hand. It might be your computer screen. Just take a look at it. Just look at it with new eyes in this moment right now. Nothing from the past, nothing from the future. If it has a crack, if you're looking at your computer screen and it has a crack, let's not go into judgment about whether we fix that crack, whether it's worth fixing it. Maybe it's better to just get a new device or new machine. We're not going down those trails. We're just looking and noticing the crack. Notice the line of the crack across your screen. Notice if there's a light. So I see a green light on my computer screen, which means that the camera is on. All right, so I'm just noticing with new eyes, just what's present right here, right now. There's no objective to this. It's just mindful noticing. And so what you're noticing, if you're looking at my bar, is that it's not open and I'm not eating it. So I'm not experiencing this bar. Right? I'm just observing. I know what it's like to experience this delicious bar, but I'm not doing that right now. I'm not tasting it. That would be a next level of mindfulness. Then once I take a bite, then I might feel. So if you have something near you that you want to take a sip of or a bite of as your practice for mindfulness in this moment, first smell it. How does it smell? Is it appealing? Is it appetizing? Is it a strong aroma or is it a slight smell? Look at Terry. Yeah, she's doing it. Thank you. And then take a sip. Go ahead and experience it. Right? There's an experience. And so often what we do with people, when it's not an object, we might sort of size up a person. And based on things we may know or experiences we've had with that person, we might make assumptions about what's happening in that particular moment with that same person. Something that's not part of this moment, right? Maybe the last time you were around this person, they were in a real foul mood, really grouchy, but right now they're not. But we might still feel a little put off by the last time we talked to this person. So we bring that with us, but that's not actually part of this present moment. So the practice of mindfulness is a call to release what's not here right now. And to just be with what is here right now, to notice, to be curious and notice with fresh eyes, with fresh ears, fresh taste buds, right? A fresh sense of touch. And then as we experience whatever this object is in the way that it is meant to be experienced, if you're looking at a candle, perhaps lighting it then becomes an experience. Maybe it releases an aroma or some heat or some light. Okay, so this is our practice of mindfulness, and it will lead to awareness, a greater awareness, especially as we notice all of those sort of fleeting thoughts that aren't really relevant to the moment. Those thoughts can inform us of our unconscious beliefs held about this particular object. Later, we'll get to a person. When we do the heart, we'll do more of that. But right now, let's stick with an object, because we don't tend to have super dense emotions packed around an object. I mean, I really am partial to my protein bar. I do love the flavor combination, but there are plenty of days I don't eat one. So it's not a super emotional attachment. So I'm going to invite us now to just go into a stillness, into a moment of meditation. Go ahead and close your outer eyes and open that inner eye and listen. First, to any sounds that may be around you. Notice, how is your hearing? Is your hearing compromised? Perhaps for you, if there are noises, it actually impedes your hearing. Perhaps you don't have any hearing at all without an assisted device. Just notice. What do you hear with the physical ears? And now notice, what do you hear in the mind? This talk is kind of weird. Meditation right in the middle. Who ever heard of that? Short meditation. How long is this meditation? Like, should I get really comfortable or are we going to move on in a minute? What are the thoughts? There's no Chiefs game later today. It's tomorrow. So I know you're not thinking about the game. Maybe me talking about my protein bar reminds you to update your grocery list. Just notice your thoughts. There's no judgment here. Now I'm going to ask you to focus on what you can feel. Are you comfortable? Is the temperature in your space comfortable for you? Are you wearing soft clothing? Or is it coarse? Do you have a blanket? or a jacket? Are you wearing shoes or slippers or socks? Notice how you feel in your environment. Are you seated comfortably? Is it possible for you to even be seated comfortably? Is your body in pain? Are you in an open space? Or are you in a kind of a cozy den space? Are you in a space that's familiar to you? We're just noticing right now what's present right here, right now. Are you checking the Facebook comments? Are they distracting to you? Are they exciting to you? Or the YouTube comments? So I'm going to bring our attention back to the space and invite you to open your eyes. And if you want to take a moment and type into the Facebook comments or into the YouTube comments what object you used for your meditation, or for just the little time that I talked about my protein bar beforehand, or what you might have noticed about your thoughts during that meditation. Because this is just about noticing. Were your thoughts fleeting? Was your mind going? Were you able to settle it down? How easy was it to answer the questions of how do I feel in this environment? What do I hear? Our eyes were closed, so we weren't looking, but we were certainly looking with the inner eye, listening with the inner ear. Mindfulness. So our scriptures in Proverbs and Psalms, we have what's known as the wisdom tradition, the wisdom writings. And Proverbs, if you've ever read it, can seem like, like a Jiminy Cricket type of a character, like your conscience, telling you the right way to do things. And it's generally accepted that these were probably teachings that were used for schools, for students, for young students. And so some of them seem trite. A lot of them are about how to behave as a child, or, how to behave towards your parents, but also how to behave in society. And there's so much about the heart and the difference between the mind and the heart, and wisdom and understanding, and what kinds of actions and behaviors and thoughts and paradigms lead to life versus lead to suffering, I would say. So from Proverbs 14, a heart at peace gives life to the body. A heart at peace gives life to the body. And I love this because this is so relevant to how we teach our spiritual teachings in New Thought, right? And in Unity, that what we hold in mind becomes, right, what is in our inner expression or thoughts, heart, is the pattern and sets forth what becomes our reality in the outer expression, right? So the heart at peace gives life to the body, fulfillment, life. And what we know about our heart is that it is multifaceted, right? We can hold grief, we can hold pain, we can hold resentment, we can hold joy, we can hold curiosity, we can hold happiness, sadness, all of these things, embarrassment, all at the very same time. Our heart is not limited, right? It's not limited to either happy or sad. So I'm going to read you from Mark Nepo. This is just a short poem. Right. Bookmarked it, but I bookmarked it on the wrong side. Here we go. The appointment. What if on the first sunny day on your way to work, a colorful bird sweeps in front of you down a street you've never heard of? You might pause and smile, a sweet beginning to your day. Or you might step into that street and realize there are many ways to work. You might sense the bird knows something you don't and wander after. You might hesitate when the bird turns down an alley, for now there is tension. Is what the bird knows worth being late? You might go another block or two thinking you can have it both ways, but soon you arrive at the edge of all your plans. The bird circles back for you, and you must decide which appointment you were born to keep. That's so good. Which appointment you were born to keep. And how is that part of our mindfulness conversation? Being present to our heart, being present to the beliefs that our thoughts provoke in our heart space, and being aware in each moment of what the heart is calling us to do, what brings peace to the heart, that it may give life to the body, which includes the mind. What brings peace to the heart that may give life to the body, which includes the mind? How do we succumb to any particular emotion held in the heart? Do we allow there to be a presiding emotion, or do we allow our heart to be nimble, to move and navigate through all of the emotions it holds, to all of the memories it holds, to all of the experiences it holds for us? The heart is a very complicated part of our being, very complex. And it is an integral part of our path to healing. So we allow our heart to inform our thoughts. We allow our heart to hold space for every emotion, every experience, even if it seems conflicting, right? The heart is where paradox makes sense. That's in the heart, where we understand beyond the power of the mind. We understand beyond the practice of mindfulness. The heart is what opens us to awareness. Are you following? The heart is what opens us beyond mindfulness into the power of awareness. In the heart, our emotions create a certain density in our bodies, right? So you might have heard sort of talk about a pain body, where we hold pain in our physical being. An experience of the heart can manifest, because emotions, right, are actually made of molecules. And so they can manifest in our body as a pain body if it's a painful experience. In just the very same way, our joyful emotions, our gratitude can be held in the body and can open us to healing like we've never known before. So we're going to go into our second meditation. And right now, I want you to close your eyes and to bring to your heart's mind, right? Your heart's mind, a person, a loved one, anyone, the first one that comes to mind, just let it be. It's not a favorite. It's just the first one who comes to mind, and trust the heart for bringing it to your attention and to your focus. Bringing this person. How does this person make you feel? How does your experience of love or family or friendship with this person make you feel? What do you value and treasure about this person? What brings your joy heart about this person? How do you feel when you interact with this person? How do you feel when you just simply think of this person? It may be more than one emotion, and they may seem to conflict, and that's okay. We just notice. So now we're practicing mindfulness about the heart. And we just notice. We give the heart space to be what it is. We validate every emotion held in the heart. And we look for opportunities for forgiveness. We just breathe this in. Just notice the opportunities for forgiveness. That takes a lot more work than what we're going to do today, sometimes, and sometimes just in a breath, because the forgiveness is within, right? It's not about the other person. It's our self-forgiveness, because it's the emotion that we are holding, or the thought or beliefs that we are holding in our beings that need to be released. So just notice for now. Let's bring our attention back together. the heart, the mind. Now I want to talk to you about heart intelligence, because this is like the magic, the mystical experience, right? This is beyond mindfulness into that awareness that the heart brings forward through our emotional experiences. So now we're going beyond our body and mind into our spirit, the heart intelligence, as Joe Dispenza calls it. You may have heard coherence and heart coherence, or there's body coherence. And coherence is really just about the system, any system. It could be social coherence. It could be like within our community or within your family or in your neighborhood, any system, and the relationships between its parts and the efficiency of how that system runs. Okay, so our coherence, when we talk about our heart coherence, it's not just our physical heart, but it's also our emotional heart and the systems that impact it and how efficiently those systems run. So if we're holding a density, right, an emotion in our body, and it creates that density, that creates a block in both our physical system and our emotional, spiritual system. Okay, so the relationship between our mind, our thoughts, and our feelings. So what happens in the mind and what happens in our emotion come together, and that creates our opportunity for heart coherence. Heart intelligence is mind plus emotions, right? So, we think of our heart, our spiritual heart being right where our heart is in the center of our being, which makes sense. It works with the chakra system. It works with the way we often experience it. And so I just want to make sure that we're clear that it's not just physical and it's not just spiritual. So it's okay in this sort of example that it works together in a central location called our heart space. And so the healing possibility and the healing practice that comes forth is through the mind and the heart together. And that's why the mindful practice is so important, because if we don't even know what we're holding in our thoughts, our beliefs, and our heart space, then we can't truly come to the deepest experience of coherence and to the most direct path for healing. So we have to make a practice of mindfulness. So the mystic, just the mystic, right? But when we say the mindful mystic, we're talking about that practice, that diligence of becoming aware of the beliefs and the thoughts that we're holding in our body that might be impeding our healing, impeding our experience of peace, impeding our experience of joy, of health, well-being, love, spiritual liberation. That's our work to do. So when we talk about working, it is work. It is real work, because we have to get still. We have to get quiet. We trust, yes, love wins. We move the conversation from our head to our heart. We know, as scriptures tell us, that a heart at peace brings life to the body. And at the end of the day, if we are holding resentment, if we are holding sadness, if we're holding any negative experience, anger, shame in our heart space, it creates density in our body. And it impedes not only our spiritual well-being, but our physical well-being. So we must be dedicated and diligent about this work of bringing forward our emotional experiences, our thoughts and our beliefs that are created around those experiences, that we may truly open to the healing that is available for us. So in our book, Embracing Uncertainty, Susan Jeffers says, let God worry about it. Let God worry about it. Let's stop pulling worry into our bodies, literally pulling worry into our minds, our heart, and our body space. Let's release it. Our work is to do the work of gratitude. Our work is to do the work of love, right? If it's not about love, it's not about God. So we are to bring more love into, through, and as us, and to be that presence of love in the world. You get it? So we say that almost every week, because that is in alignment with our vision and our mission statement, with who we are as spiritual people. And it's something that can't be said enough, because every step of every day gives us an opportunity to forget that, to fall out of alignment with it. And what we want to do is course correct. In any moment that we feel sadness, loss, betrayal, resentment, unforgiveness of any kind, anything that leads to judgment in our mind, whether it's at self or at others, even just being annoyed by another person, right? A sacred, holy being. Those are all opportunities to clean the heart, to cleanse the heart space, to come into alignment with who and whose we really are. It's opportunity without judgment to work through the emotion, not to shove it away, because if we shove it away, where does it shove to? Our bodies, right? We're still holding it. It's still and even more inclined to create that density that I'm saying we need to release. So we don't want to shove our feelings. We don't want to repress them and pretend that they aren't there. We want to allow them to move through us and release them. So we do that through the practice of mindfulness, through noticing, bringing everything that we are experiencing and feeling, everything that is present in our heart space, in our mind, to our awareness. Remember, awareness of a thought is not a thought. So when we are in that realm of awareness, we are in the God realm. And that's where forgiveness comes easy, just like a breeze. Where healing comes easily, just like a breeze. We are in that God space. So let's go there now for our final meditation. With a deep breath, we center into the heart space. Any thought that comes to mind, we simply notice without judgment. Any fear, any doubt, any confusion. We just notice. Any sense of love or gratitude or gratefulness. We notice what comes forward. And maybe some combination, and probably is some combination of those ideas and more. We just simply notice. And we listen to the heart. We listen to it so that it may feel heard and seen, that it may report to us any pain body we are holding, that it may report to us any opportunity for forgiveness, self-forgiveness, that it may illuminate our awareness. We listen in silent contemplation. So we give thanks for this opportunity to touch the stillness. We give thanks for the practice of gratitude, which opens the heart, and creates a path to anything we want to fulfill in this life. We are grateful in advance for the blessings that will come our way. We begin to forge the path toward those blessings. We are grateful in advance for the health we wish to outpicture in our bodies, in our minds. If we are grateful in advance, we begin to forge a path to that experience. So as we embrace our own beings as mindful mystics, we do this work to open our awareness to the realm of God, to the realm of spirit, to the realm of the universe where there lives all possibility, infinite love, infinite health and well-being, wholeness. And we claim it as ours, and we are grateful. We are so grateful for this knowing, for this experience, for this heart, and for this community. We are so grateful, and we say, thank you, thank you, thank you, God. And so it is. Namaste. And now we will hear from Harold Payne again, this song that he wrote for us today. If it isn't about love, it's not about God.
Sometimes our actions don't match what we say we believe in. We let our reactive minds somehow start to creep in. higher selves to reel our reflexive instincts in. Off the mystical path, that's where it all begins. We gotta be mindful of what we say and where we trod. 'Cause it's not about love, and it's not about God. There's so many blessings right before our eyes. Once we clear away the distraction and clutter from our minds and become vibrantly present, awake and aware of all the rich blessings that are waiting for us there. We gotta be mindful about what we say and where we trod. 'Cause it's not about love, it's not about God. More light, more love, more peace. Right here, right now. We gotta be mindful of what we say and where we trod. Not about love, it's not about God. Yes, we gotta be mindful of what we say and where we trod. It's not about love, it's not about God. It's not about love, and it's not about God.
Amen, brother. Amen, sister. If it's not about love, it is not about God. And that is definitely the key to our spiritual liberation. Thank you, Reverend Jacquie, for the great message again today. So just a few brief announcements. You can join us after today's service for coffee time on Zoom. We'd love to get to know you. It's a great time to connect, whether you're new for the first time to Unity Church of Overland Park, or if you've been coming for a really long time, we'd love to have you join us. So go on to Zoom and use ID 376-922-0711. It's at about 11 o'clock, probably today a little bit after. We seem to be running just a little bit behind schedule. Also, the UCOP Facebook page is there for the UCOP kids and the Uniteens to connect at 11 o'clock as well. The kids are doing a lesson called Learning from Zen Masters, all of them cats. So that sounds very interesting. And then the Uniteens are continuing their discussion of the book E Squared by Pam Grout. Also, we have been wanting, desiring, praying for, and hoping for time to get together in person. And so there is a celebration time. It's our Fall Faith celebration. It's on Friday, October 30th. It is at Shawnee Mission Park in shelter number 2 from either 4:30 p.m. until 6 o'clock p.m. or 6 o'clock until 7:30 p.m. We're going to have a fire pit, drum circles, costume, treats. So you can sign up for one of those 2 time slots at the website. Just go to www.ucop.org and also check out today's or Friday's e-news for all of the details involved in how you can be part, if you feel comfortable, joining everybody in person. Also, our weekly e-news or the website is just a great way overall to stay up to date about all of the upcoming events and what's happening at Unity Church of Overland Park. If you are not yet getting our e-news, please go to our website. Again, it's www.ucop.org. Just scroll all the way down to the bottom of that homepage and then just click on subscribe to newsletter. It's very easy. We want everybody to be involved, up to date with what's going on, as connected as possible to this amazing spiritual community. Now, please stay with us as we close out our service with prayer, our mission statement, and a final song from a newcomer to us and somebody that I know will grow to love very quickly, Harold Payne.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Well, we've come to that point again to say that wonderful, wonderful prayer, that wonderful affirmation. I invite you to even stand up and do the motions. You know, we've done the motions for years. And for those of you who haven't seen them, I will do them with you. But the point is, you want to bring that prayer into your heart, into your soul. It's an affirmation of the truth of who we are. So please say with me, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Yes, all is vibrantly well because God is. And so now we will close. Speaking of vibrant, I'm going to invite you to spend some time this week being vibrantly present, just like in the words of Harold's beautiful song that he wrote for us. Vibrantly present to yourself, to your thoughts, to your heart, to your life this week, that you may open in awareness and operate from the realm of God, the realm of possibility, and be the light that you were created to be. And speaking of lights that we were created to be, let's affirm together our mission statement as our spiritual community, again, with enthusiasm and with the holy authority. Unity Church of Overland Park transforms lives and empowers people to make a difference in the world. Please join us after this service in just a few moments for coffee time. The ID there for Zoom is right on your screen. And we just, last week, somebody invited us to have provocative questions. So who knows where the conversation will go today, but it will surely be a precious time of fellowship and community together. So I invite you, if you've never joined in for this time, to come on in today. And you don't have to participate any more that you want to, but your presence will benefit all of us and be a blessing. And so let's close now with a song by Harold Payne. This may be a song that you're familiar with, Something Wonderful. And we know for you that something wonderful is happening in you right here, right now. Namaste.
Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Oh, something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, oh, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Yes, it is something wonderful, oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. And all this love inside, we can't let it shine. something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Yes, it is something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson worth learning again and again. Love wins. That's where it all begins. Love wins. We learn it again and again. Love wins. That's where it all begins. Love